Hello boys and girls, welcome to the Math Club. In this video, we're going to talk about 1.2 Indices. Question 7. Problem solving. Jamal eats half a cheesecake. His brother eats half of what is left, and his sister eats half of what is then left. How much cheesecake remains? Now, we need to write the answer as a fraction and as a fraction raised to a power. First, let's draw the question. Sometimes word problems need to be drawn so we understand the idea of the question. For example, let's say this is the cheesecake. Now, let's take a look at the first sentence. Jamal eats half of the cheesecake. So first, Jamal eats half of it. So we need to find half of this cheesecake, like this. So Jamal eats this part. So we remove this part. And then his brother eats half of what is left. So his brother eats half of what is left. So this is what's left. His brother eats half of it. So we have to remove the other half. And then his sister eats half of what is then left. So this is left then. So her sister eats half of it. So we have it. And then we remove it like this. The question is how much cheesecake remains. Now, if we continue dividing the other halves like this, the same as this one, what will we get? Like this. Very good. So we made them, all of them, the same as these. Why did we do this? Because they have to be the same, and we understand all of these were eaten except this one. Now, this is the one which is left, so we put tick on it. Now we understand the idea that this one is eaten. Let's remove some of them so we won't get confused. Let's remove this. Sorry. This. And we put the line back. Okay. Now, first we need to understand how many parts or how many pieces of the cheesecake are left, or there are. There are about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, I'm going to show you this way, and then I'm going to explain using numbers. So all of them are 8. The ones which are left is 1. When we write it as a fraction, it's going to be 1 over 8. Very good. 1 over 8. So the fraction of the cheesecake which is left is 1 over 8. Now this is the answer as a fraction. So we write it 1 over 8. 1 over 8. Or 1/8 of the cheesecake. Now, we need to write this as a fraction. We did it. Now, we need to write it as a fraction raised to a power. To write this as a fraction raised to a power, it means we're going to follow the same steps that we did in question 6. As we said, first, we're going to use the square root and the cube root. And we're going to check which one is used better with the numbers without giving any decimals. Now, first, let's make this smaller. So this is the square root and this is the cube root. Now, as I told you before, when you find 1 in the numerator, you don't have to check if it works here or here, because it works in both of them. So you have to go ahead and check the denominator without checking the 1. Now, we're going to check the denominator. We're going to put 8 under the square root and 8 under the cube root. Now, the 8 under the square root will give me a decimal number. It's going to be 2.5, I think. 2.5 maybe. So square root of 8, let me check. It's 2.8, not 2.5. Yes. So because it gave me a decimal number, it means I'm not going to use it. But this one gives me 2, a whole number. So this means I'm going to use the one with the cube root. And because I use the cube root with the 8, I have to do the same with the 1. So I'm going to write here 1 to the power of 3. And why did I do the power as 3? Very good. Because I used the cube root. And then here it's going to be 2 to the power of 3. Very good. Power of 3. And then I'm going to write it as a fraction like this. Then I'm going to take the power, which is the 3, outside of the bracket. So I'm going to draw a bracket like this. And then I'm going to put the power, which is 3 here. And then I'm going to put what I left here, which is 1 and 2. So it's going to be 1 over 2, like this. And this is how you answer question B. And this is the fraction raised to a power. Now, this idea I explained using what we call a diagram, or this looks like a pie diagram. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.